Yesterday, we have seen the definition of biotechnology, a brief history of biotechnology, then some techniques or process of biotechnology. And today, we shall discuss the principles of biotechnology, important for 2 marks. The two important principles or the techniques of modern biotechnology are: one is genetic engineering, and another is maintenance of sterile environment. Now we shall see the first one, genetic engineering. Sometimes we call it as recombinant DNA technology. It's a process. Genetic engineering, as the name indicates, we are engineering the genes or the DNA molecule. Okay. What is genetic engineering? Or define genetic engineering? It is the technique of altering the DNA or RNA and to introduce these into the host organism and thus change the phenotype of the host organism. So, what is the meaning of this definition? Genetic engineering is the technique. It means it is one of the technique, or we can say a process in which we are going to alter the DNA of an organism or the RNA of an organism. How we are going to alter the DNA or RNA means we introduce the desired gene into the DNA of an organism. Thus, we are altering the DNA or RNA. And thus altered DNA is next introduced into the host, that is the host organism. As a result of the altered DNA or RNA, the phenotype of the host organism also changes. That is, the character also changes. This is what we meant by genetic engineering. In genetic engineering, we are going to alter the DNA of an organism. That is very, very important point. In genetic engineering, the isolation of the desired gene is very important. Before that, we have to identify the gene. The gene of interest, it should be identified. It is a very difficult task in genetic engineering. What is that? Identification of the desired gene. Say, for example, I want to produce a plant or crop that must be resistant for the disease, that is resistant to drought condition, or it produce high yield. First thing is we should identify that gene. So the identification of the gene is the first step, very important part. Once we identified the gene, we must isolate the gene. How to isolate the gene means using restriction endonuclease enzymes. We can cut that gene and then it is introduced into the host organism. So, this is how the three important steps are there: identification, isolation, and introduction of the gene into the host. Okay. After this process, we are going to clone the gene. It means in genetic engineering, the desired gene is cloned. Clone means what? The gene is multiplied or produced many copies of that gene. Okay. See, in genetic engineering, we know that we are going to introduce a new gene into the other organism or the host. And then that gene is cloned. For this, very important thing is sterile environment. It is the second step. So, for genetic engineering, sterile environment is very important. That is, we must maintain sterile environment. Sterile environment means microbe-free environment is necessary. You know that this is a classroom. In the classroom, different types of bacteria may be there. Different types of fungal spores may be there. We must remove all those. Then it becomes the sterile environment. Say, this is just like operation theater in a hospital. In a hospital, before doing surgery, the operation theater, what we call it as OT, it is made sterile, means microbes free. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ನನ್ನು, ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಬ್ಸು ಇರಬಾರ್ದು. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟರೈಲ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟನ್ನು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ನೀವು ಹಳ್ಳಿಯಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದರೆ ನೋಡಬಹುದು, ರೈತರು ಸಿಲ್ಕ್ ವರ್ಮ ರೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾರೆ, ರೇಷ್ಮೆ ಹುಳುವನ್ನು ರೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಗೂಡು ಕಟ್ಟತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಮನೆಯನ್ನು ರೇಷ್ಮೆ ಮನೆ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಸ್ಟರೈಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಸ್ಟರ್ಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗೂಡನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಬಹುದು ರೇಷ್ಮೆ ಕಕೂನ್ಸ್ಗೆ, ಗೂಡುಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್, ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ವರ್ಕ್, maintenance of sterile environment is essential. The microbial-free environment is essential in chemical engineering process. In tissue culture, have you visited any tissue culture lab? In tissue culture lab, the whole lab is free from microbes. It is sterile environment is created. Otherwise, tissues will get infected. So, sterile environment is necessary for the manufacture of biotechnological products like antibiotics. In genetic engineering, we are going to produce antibiotics, many different types of vaccines, enzymes, proteins, etc. on a large scale. Large scale means industrial scale, using the microorganisms. Or we make use of eukaryotic cells. Using microorganisms or eukaryotic cell, we are going to produce the products. Okay, these two are the principles or techniques of modern biotechnology. Next, how this concept developed in scientists, that is introduction of foreign gene into other organism ಅಂತ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದರೆ, ಕೇರ್ಫುಲ್ಲಾಗಿ if we examine, two important information are there. One is sexual reproduction and other is hybridization. You have already studied the sexual reproduction in plants or angiosperms. Whenever the sexual reproduction takes place, the male gamete is produced from the female parent, the female gamete is produced from the female parent, and these two gametes, when fused together, forms what is known as zygote. That is, when fertilization takes place, zygote is formed. That zygote contains some new genes. That is, the recombination of genes occurs during sexual reproduction. Because of the genes, recombination of genes, variations we may notice. Say, for example, one example ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ, whenever the sexual reproduction takes place, all the progenies of that the parents are not similar. We come across variation. ಒಂದು ಬೆಕ್ಕಿನಿಂದ ಬಂದಂಥ ಬೆಕ್ಕಿನ ಮರಿಗಳು ಒಂದೇ ಥರ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ಬೆಕ್ಕು 5-6 ಬೆಕ್ಕಿನ ಮರಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಹಾಕುತ್ತೆ, ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇರೆ ಥರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಕಮ್ ಅಕ್ರಾಸ್. These variations occur during sexual reproduction, may be beneficial to the organism. Sometimes that new character may be beneficial to the whole population. Okay. Very important point is, whenever the sexual reproduction takes place, because of recombination, new characters appear in the progeny. But if you examine the asexual reproduction, you have already studied the asexual reproduction also. In asexual reproduction, the gametes are not formed. Okay. Only the parent body produce many offsprings. And the offsprings resemble the character of the parent. That is, in asexual reproduction, the characters are preserved. The genetic makeup of an organism is preserved. Okay. So this is one concept. The second concept is hybridization. As the science advanced, scientists developed or discovered a new technique, what we call hybridization. Hybridization means crossing two different parents, male and female parents, which are differing in one or more characters, and to get a new recombinant of F1 generation. So, this is actually done by genetics when developing a new variety of hybrids. Hybridization ನೀವು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಓದಿದಿರಿ. ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜೀಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎನ್ಹಾನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಫುಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ hybridization you have studied in detail. ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ಎ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟು ಡಿಸೀಸ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟು, ಬಿ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟು ಡ್ರಾಟ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟು, ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ, ಹೈಬ್ರಿಡೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ F1 ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟು ಡಿಸೀಸ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟು ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಡ್ರಾಟ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟು ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ದ ಹೈಬ್ರಿಡ್, that is what you call F1 generation. Okay. So this is what you call it as hybridization. Through hybridization, scientists developed new varieties of crops. For example, ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸರ್ ಶಾಪ್ಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಸನ್ಫ್ಲವರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಸ ಹೈಬ್ರಿಡ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಮೈಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಸ ಹೊಸ ಹೈಬ್ರಿಡ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಡ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಎ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ hybridization. Okay, no doubt the F1 is highly improved one. It shows new characters when you compare with that of the parents. Okay, but if you analyze carefully, during hybridization, we are going to produce a new hybrid with a desirable character, no doubt. But what happened? Some unwanted, undesired character may also develop because undesired genes are also introduced into the plant. This is the demerit of hybridization. ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲದಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಜೀನನ್ನು ಸಹ ಇಂಟ್ರಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಅದು ಬೆನಿಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಇಲ್ದಂಗಿರಬಹುದು. ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನೋ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಓವರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ನಮಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ಥರ ಜೀನ್ಸನ್ನು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟು ನ್ಯೂ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದರು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್. So as the science advanced, the genetic engineering developed. In genetic engineering, the desired gene is introduced into the host or the organism. Very important point. ನಮಗೆ ಯಾವ ಜೀನ್ ಬೇಕೋ ಆ ಜೀನನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಅನ್ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಜೀನನ್ನು ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ. This is the main difference between hybridization or sexual reproduction. In genetic engineering, the desired gene, sometimes we call it as foreign gene or alien gene, it is introduced into the host cell and multiplied by using a process called recombinant DNA technology. Okay, ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಜೀನ್ ಬೇಕೋ ಆ ಜೀನನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ. ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ, ವಿ ಆರ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಹೈ ಯೀಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ವೆರೈಟಿ, ಹೈ ಯೀಲ್ಡ್ ಜೀನ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟ್ರಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್. ಹಸುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿಲ್ಕ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ದ ಜೀನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ಮಿಲ್ಕ್, that gene is only introduced. Drought resistant gene introduce ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ that gene is identified and it is introduced into the host plant. But hybridization-ನಲ್ಲಿ it's not possible. Unwanted gene also introduced. Okay, thus we create new DNA, we call it as recombinant DNA. As the name indicates, recombinant DNA. The DNA is combined. The DNA of two organisms combined. That's why recombinant DNA. It is created. Then this is introduced into the host for replication. Because of the replication site, the gene is multiplied. This is what you call it as gene cloning. Okay. Thus developed plants and animals are called genetically engineered organisms. We call GMO, genetically modified organism or genetically engineered organisms which contain only the desired gene, because we are going to transfer the desired gene and we are going to clone the desired gene. Okay, I think now it is clear how the concept of genetic engineering developed. A very important point is the undesirable genes are not introduced in genetic engineering. That is most important thing. Okay? Shall see next. Next, very important thing. First artificial recombinant DNA. The first artificial recombinant DNA was constructed or developed by Stanley Cohen and Herbert Boyer in the year 1972. Working at the Stanford University, California, that is USA. So these two people for the first time developed recombinant DNA. The technique we call it as recombinant DNA technology. How they developed rDNA? Look here now. First, they identified and isolated the antibiotic resistant gene from plasmid of Salmonella typhimurium. You know, the bacterial cell contains bacterial DNA and extra DNA. We call plasmid. These plasmid contains antibiotic resistant genes. First they identified that gene, antibiotic resistant gene, from the plasmid of Salmonella. You know the bacterium Salmonella? Salmonella typhi actually typhoid ಬರಂಗ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. So this is Salmonella typhimurium. So which the bacterial cell contains plasmid. Plasmid means a circular DNA. It is double-stranded that can replicate itself and produce new copy of plasmid. It is extra DNA because the other DNA, genomic DNA is there. That's why the plasmid is called extra, circular, double-stranded, self-replicating DNA of bacterium. By using the enzymes restriction endonucleases, we call them molecular scissors. Using these enzymes, they cut the antibiotic resistant gene from the plasmid. Okay. Then, next ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅವರು? Then they linked the plasmid DNA with the top and transfer the gene or the piece of DNA. Plasmid DNA ಮತ್ತು ಆಂಟಿಬಯೋಟಿಕ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಜೀನ್ ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. That is the antibiotic resistant gene and the plasmid, both of them are linked together with the help of the enzyme DNA ligase. The enzyme DNA ligase join two DNA. Two DNA means antibiotic resistant gene and the plasmid DNA. Both of them are joined by the enzyme ligase enzyme. Now, new DNA developed. That is rDNA. Thus, new combination of DNA created, it is called recombinant DNA. Okay. Then what they did? The thus produced recombinant DNA or rDNA introduced into the E. coli bacterium. E. coli means Escherichia coli, a bacterium which lives in the colon region of human being. rDNAನ ಈ ಕೋಲೈ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೇಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ಈ ಕೋಲೈ ದ rDNA multiplied by using DNA polymerase enzyme of the host. Okay. Many copies of gene are produced. So this is what we call it as gene cloning. ನೋಡಿ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಇದು rDNA ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್. ಈಗ ಅದನ್ನು ನಿಮಗೆ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲಿ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಇರೋದು ಫಾರಿನ್ DNA ಅನ್ನೋದು ಆ್ಯಂಟಿಬಯೋಟಿಕ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಜೀನ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ರಿ ನೀವು. ಈ ಕಡೆ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಇರೋದು ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಿಡ್. ಎರಡೂ ರಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಎಂಡೋನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಎನ್ಸೈಮ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನೋಡಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪೀಸಸ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ DNA, ಫಾರಿನ್ DNA ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರದ್ದು. ಈ ಕಡೆಗೂ ಅದೇ ಎನ್ಸೈಮ್ನಿಂದ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಈ ಎರಡು DNA ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಗ ಹೊಸ DNA ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ rDNA, ರಿಕಾಂಬಿನೆಂಟ್ DNA. ಈ ರಿಕಾಂಬಿನೆಂಟ್ DNA ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿನ ರಿಕಾಂಬಿನೆಂಟ್ DNA ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಒಂದು ಸತಿ rDNA ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಈ ಕೋಲೈ ರೆಡ್ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಈ ಕೋಲೈ ಸೆಲ್. ಈ ಕೋಲೈ ಸೆಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಪು, ಈ ಕೋಲೈ ಸೆಲ್ಲನ್ನು ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಕ್ಲೋನಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ it produces, the process of cloning produces thousands and lakhs of copies of the same. Okay, so that's all about first artificial DNA. Okay, ಇದೇ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮುಂದೆನೂ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು, ಈ ಥರ ಒಂದು ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. Okay, so thank you.